Hello, my dear students. This is the first lecture on a new module, that is DC machines. So basically, this particular module is in your curriculum of automotive electrical and electronic systems, that is AUE 702, and we are going to cover the construction, the winding layout, the different parts, their functions, the operational characteristics, speed controls, voltage generation, applications. We are going to cover all these topics one by one based on the lectures of this module. So let us start the basics of an electrical machine. So the first point, which is highlighted over here, that an electromechanical energy conversion device is an electrical machine. That means it is an interconversion between electrical energy and mechanical energy. So let us write like this. So it is a device which is an interconversion between electrical and mechanical energy. So when an energy is converted from electrical energy to mechanical energy, it is known as a motor. And so it will be this one, electrical to mechanical energy. And if it is a conversion between mechanical and electrical energy, mechanical to electrical energy, it will be a generator. So there are two possible modes of operation. One is the generator and another is the motor. So two operations are there. One is the generator and the other is the motor. So, and when the supply is DC, it is known as a DC generator, and in case of a motor it is a DC motor. So this is the first point. The second point is the rotating electrical or DC machine has mainly two parts. One is the stator and another is the rotor. So one is the stator and the other is the rotor. So basically the word stator came from the word static. So I will write this stator, which means it is static. That means which does not move, which is immobile. So a stator is a device which is an immobile device. It does not move. Whereas rotor, the word comes from rotate. So the stator is static and the rotor is rotating. And the rotor is housed inside the stator. The rotor is housed inside the stator. So if I elaborate these things, let us try to draw the stator and the rotor. So this is how the stator is slotted in the inner periphery, and conductors are placed in those slots like this. So actually, what are the purpose of the stator? Actually, the stator, it is responsible for creation of the magnetic field. So number one, creation of magnetic field. So this is the main purpose of the stator. And these conductors which are placed, they are called field conductors. And when the conductors are connected, it becomes a winding. So winding is basically connection of two or more conductors. So winding is basically connection of two or more conductors. So this is a winding. So this is the stator. So what type of winding is that? This is a field winding, right? So now the next question which automatically comes, that how a field is produced. How does field gets produced? Is a very important question. So what we will do is, we will try to just show you that how a field gets produced. So actually, so these are known as stator poles, or they are also known as field poles. So now these are known as field poles, and it is made up of ferromagnetic material. So now around these poles, electric windings or windings are connected or wound like this. So it is called field coil. So let us say the current flows like this, will go like this through the back, again come in the front, again go through the back, and again come to the front, and again flow like this. So now if you orient your finger, that is the thumb, in the direction of the current by pointing the thumb of your right hand, so it will be like this. It will be like this. The curling fingers will be downwards and your thumb will be pointed in the direction of the current. So your thumb is pointing like this, it is aligned to the direction of the current, and the field will act downwards in the direction of your curling fingers. So field will be in this particular direction, and automatically this pole will attain a north polarity. So this current flows through the other pole the way it is connected like this, and here you are giving the supply, which is known as the field supply, VF. So this is how, this is the positive terminal, so it will be flowing like this and it will come over here. So here what will be the direction of the current, so it will flow like this through the back, like this and like this. And now again, if you curl your, or rather orient your thumb in the direction of the current, so it will be in this particular direction, and your curling fingers will point in this particular direction. So what will be the polarity? It will attain south polarity. So you see, the field will start from north pole and enter into the south pole. So accordingly you should label them as north and south. So this is the field system of the machine. This is known as the field system of the machine. Now likewise, if I focus, and without this field your machine will not operate. So the field is absolutely essential. The field is essential. Without this field your machine will not operate. So similarly, if I draw the rotor, so the rotor is slotted on the outer periphery. Like this. So basically I am showing you the cross section. Actually it is in the form of a cylinder like this. So it will look something like this. And here you place the conductors. And these conductors are called armature conductors. Actually, the rotor will rotate, and so will the armature conductors. And when the armature conductors are connected, it will form the armature winding. It will form the armature winding. So the winding will rotate as they are placed in the rotor slots, and the rotor will rotate when the magnetic field is there, as well as when the electric current is there through the armature conductors. So it will give you mechanical energy in case of a motor. In case of a generator, what you have to do, you have to rotate the rotor. So the mechanical energy will be given as an input, and the field will be there by giving the field supply as shown previously. So what will be the output in case of a generator? That is the electric current through the armature conductors. So I will tell you how will you analyze that, or how will you remember that. And you remember, the rotor is housed on a cylindrical shaft. So the rotor will be placed on the shaft, and it will rotate in a particular direction. It may be clockwise or it may be anti-clockwise as shown, producing a particular torque and speed. In case of a motor, your torque and speed will be the output, and your supply voltage is the input. So this is in case of a motor. So what is the case of a generator? So in case of a generator, your output will be voltage, and what will be your input? Your input is mechanical energy, that means the torque and the speed. What is the unit of torque? Just for your remembrance. It is Newton meter. And what is omega? Omega is basically angular speed. Its unit is rad per second or radian per second. So this is the fact of a generator. So in both the cases, you have to remember that which one is the output and which one is the input, that you have to remember. So now there are some laws which you have to learn, or rather which, if you already know, you have to recapitulate before proceeding to the basics of an electrical machine. So obviously, before going to that, we will just do a recapitulation. So I will write down the laws one by one. So first is, which we have already applied, it is known as right hand thumb rule. Number 2, Fleming's right hand rule. Number 3, Fleming's left hand rule. Next comes number 4, Faraday's law of EMI, or EMI is called electromagnetic induction. So EMI will write the full form, electromagnetic induction. And last but not the least, it is called Lenz's law. It is called Lenz's law. So the underlying physics of a DC machine is governed by these 5 laws. And if you understand and comprehend all these 5 laws, there will be absolutely no problem in understanding the physics of a electric machine. Not only DC machine, I am telling you about any electrical machine, you will be able to visualize like crystal clear water. So of course you have to study and comprehend each of these laws, and in the upcoming lecture, along with the construction of the machine, I will explain you the laws one by one. So before going into the details or construction, I will first cover all these laws in the upcoming lecture. So see you in the next lecture. Thank you.